Welcome on in at Geico Sports Night. I'm Julie Stewart-Binks. It might be a holiday weekend for some, but the New York sports scene did not take a break. On the ice, the Rangers put on a show against the Hurricanes to force a Game 7 Monday. While on the mound, Luis Severino continued his dominant start to the season as the Yankees split in Tampa. But first, let's get to our main event. The Mets taking on the Phillies, looking to keep the bats hot as they face a familiar foe. Time now for What Are the Odds? JJ back with us to talk some Jets. Now, with the Jets, the over-under for Zach Wilson's passing yards in his season debut Sunday is 209.5. Do you expect him to go over that number, and how much will the offense help him?
It's a very low total, Julie.
Pete Alonso is currently plus 1,400 to lead MLB in home runs and plus 200 to lead the league in RBI, which he currently owns. JJ, what stat is more important for him to dominate for the sake of the team, home runs or RBI?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Unsurprisingly, Carolina is favored at home, a barn where they have gone 7-0 this postseason. The Rangers are plus 125. Anthony, do you think that the Canes can continue this trend at home? With this heavyweight matchup, what do we need to see from the Mets to believe that they can hang with the Dodgers come October? Mets taking on the Nationals, bottom of the second, tied at 3 with a runner on second. Luis Guillorme singles to left. Nick Plummer comes around to score. Mets take a 4-3 lead. Guillorme went 2-4. Next batter, Starling Marte drives one to deep left for a 2-run homer. This his 5th of the year. He went 3 for 4 with 4 RBI. Mets lead 6-3. And on the gridiron, it was cut-down day for the Jets and Giants. See who's staying and who's going. Finally, a position we all have our eyes on for both the Jets and the Giants. Which local backup quarterback will see the most snaps?
Ooh.
Fantasy Football Happy Hour with Matthew Berry.
We know that the Commanders are 1-0, and you're very happy about that.
First place Commanders.
But they are underdogs to the Detroit Lions. I got sources telling me that they believe that Allen Robinson will see a lot more volume, and that also Sean McVay rarely calls out players. And he did call out Cam Akers. Before he had that nice motivational quote that you mentioned, he was saying, we got to see some more from this guy. And I know as a Commanders fan, though.
I was just going to say, if he needs to miss the game this week, I'm okay with
that. It's got to have changed the line because it was -2.5 before. It's -1.5 now.
I mean, because people are insane. A high-scoring game.
Yes. And
give me McKinnon.
Speaking of passing, I also like Mike Williams and Patrick Mahomes. Both touchdown scores plus 900.
There they go. All right. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. It's closing time. For Julie Stewart-Binks, I'm Matthew Berry. We will see you tomorrow on the Happy Hour. Thanks so much for tuning in. Peace.
The Jets' D-line is loaded with talent and depth this year, which is a luxury Gang Green didn't have last season. John Franklin Myers, who signed a contract extension last fall, is pretty pumped about it. He played 716 snaps, which is 66% of the plays on defense, by far more than any other lineman. JFM will do whatever it takes to help his team win. Our Janae Coakley traveled to Humble, Texas, where John Franklin Myers spends his offseason. And as she found out, the city of Humble could be named for him. Back to Toronto, top of 7th. Aaron Judge, no hits and 3 at-bats to this point. Judge facing Tim Meza. And the hit the sports world has been waiting for. Judge hits home run number 61. He ties Roger Maris for the American League home run record. His mom and Roger Maris Jr. showing their excitement. His teammates all out of the dugout to greet him. Judge with a historic home run in Toronto. And here he is after the game.
It's an incredible honor.
We've been waiting for what seems like forever for this moment, but number 61 for Aaron Judge. JJ, to put it into context, how remarkable is this accomplishment?
Julie, I don't think this is exaggeration or hyperbole. It is the best season I have ever seen from a New York Yankee. Now,
Steve Nash said that they aren't expecting Ben Simmons for the play-in games, but what's the outlook for him to potentially return in the postseason? Now, ahead of playing his first game at MetLife Stadium, Giants rookie Kayvon Thibodeau is garnering plenty of buzz. The first-year edge rusher is currently the preseason favorite to win the 2022 NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year award. But for Thibodeau and 7th overall pick Evan Neal, the pressure to perform for Giants fans is a privilege.
So we see Alexander Georgiev getting the start in net for the Rangers. Late first period, game tied at 1. Artemi Panarin takes a shot. Chris Kreider deflects it in. Rangers take a 2-1 lead. Kreider sets a Rangers franchise record with his 25th power play goal of the season. Pens and the Canes, it's two very different matchups for the Rangers. New York holds a 2-1 series lead over Pittsburgh. It's skill versus skill. Pens aren't as deep. They've had injury issues, but they have experience, and they also have a guy named, Sidney Crosby.
Now, we saw that Pete Alonso had a big night tonight, and of course the offense was ignited again. Anthony, in what way did they get back to their identity? Now, before the game, Chris Kreider was the first player to receive the Mr. Ranger Award, which is being given in honor of Rod Gilbert, to the player who best honors Rod's legacy by exemplifying leadership qualities both on and off the ice. Yet another feather in Kreider's cap to go along with his Stephen McDonald Extra Effort Award, and of course his 52 goals this season. Maybe he'll add some more. That'll do it for us here on Geico Sports Night. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Julie Stewart-Binks.